Howdy, how y'all doing? It is the last day of January. It's January 31st, 2022. And we're going to try to get some bike riding. I haven't been able to get on the bike in a while. We've had a lot of snow. You can see some of it out there. But I think I'm going to skip the dirt bike and we're going to take the old Honda. We're going to do road the whole way. All my motorcycles are absolutely filthy. But she's got good wind protection, and I think I can get a few more miles on it. I feel like a good road ride, so that is just not a winter bike at all. But anyway, so we're gonna talk a little bit about what I wear when I go on these rides. I've had some questions about that, and also about what we've got planned for this year with the channel. I got some interesting stuff I think I want to do this year, share with y'all. But anyway, let's get out there and ride. Wahoo! Well, it is an absolutely gorgeous day for a ride in January, last day of January. Look at that view. Ancient river valley over yonder. This town coming up is Erling, Iowa. It's a little dot on the map in west central Iowa. Kind of a pretty town. It's a really pretty church. You can see the steeple there. Looks like they had a tree come down. They're giving me the signal to come on by. All right. Can I trust her wave? I guess I can. Hello from Dunlop, Iowa. We just pulled in. Well, it's been a great ride so far. Not too much wind. There's some flags. You got to really watch the streets. The temperatures aren't bad. It's in the 40s. But there's a lot of sand and a lot of salt. The sand you can see readily, but the salt kind of hides. Look at that beautiful mural on the left. It's too bad those cars have to park there, huh? Okay, and up here on the right there's another one. This one is an old ad. It looks like it's been renewed. I said I'd talk a little bit about what I wear on these bike rides. I've been asked that quite a few times. I'll start with my boots. I wear a pair of leather boots with rubber soles, hard rubber soles. Policeman there, and they go up. They're ankle high over my ankles. Inside of those I put a couple of chemical heaters, you know, the kind that you buy at the store for $1.50. You crumple them up and stick one in each shoe, and those will burn for 5 to 8 hours, and they work really well. I have a pair of wool socks on that go up to my knees. Very good socks, nice and thick. Then I've got a pair of a base coat underwear, long underwear. And then over those I wear, look at this mess. I wear a pair of insulated bicycling pants. They're long, they go all the way down to my ankles, and they're tight. They're also windproof. And then over that I wear a pair of blue jeans that I got from Bass Pro Shop. And the blue jeans are insulated. They've got a very heavy lining. One thing about Bass Pro Shop's insulated pants is they've got about, the day I was there, they had about 6 different kinds. And these were only $30, so I was pretty happy with that. Moving upstairs, I have a long, a base coat underwear, long underwear shirt on. And over that I've got a good sweater that's got some wool in it. I don't know what percentage, but it's a good sweater. And then over that, this is probably a key thing. I've got this Duluth Trading Company whaleback jacket, and it's I think it's rated at 20 below. It's windproof and waterproof, and it's got the double sleeves. There's the sleeves you see right there, which I can Velcro tight, and then inside there's another set of cuffs that go tight around my wrist. It also has some zippers on the back that I can open and close from top or bottom if I need some ventilation. I've actually had to use that before on days like, well, a little warmer than today maybe. And then on my neck I wear a fleece, one of those, I don't know what they're called, gaiters, baklava, something like that. And then of course my full face helmet. On my hands I've got a pair of elk skin gloves that are Thinsulate lined. Thinsulate, look at that cat. Dunham hardwoods. The whaleback jacket is also Thinsulate. The whole system works really well. If there was any shortcoming to it at all, is there's two things. One is my legs get colder before anything else, but my feet stay warm, and you know, the rest of me stays pretty warm. So it's really not a complaint. The other thing is, once it gets dark, once the sunshine is off of you, no matter what, I always get cold. So these winter rides, I try to make sure I'm home, you know, before dark, half an hour before dark. So if it gets dark at 6 o'clock, I try to be home by 5:30. And I've gotten caught out after that before, and even 10 minutes after dark, in the dark, it changes the whole spirit of the ride. It really makes quite a difference. So that's the gear. Of course, I've got this thing here. The same outfit is what I wear when I'm on my Royal Enfield, and on that bike I've ridden down to, I think, 33, 34 degrees, and I stay pretty comfortable with that. On that bike you go considerably slower than this, but also you don't have very much wind protection on that thing either. So the system works pretty well. Like I said, the one shortcoming is the pants, and I am thinking about getting a pair of wellback pants from Duluth. They're $150. Maybe I'll get some next fall. They have, like I said, all this stuff has Thinsulate, which seems to be a very good product for this kind of stuff. Something I want to talk about is a little bit is for this year coming up. Some of the things I want to get done this year. I'd like to focus more on, I still want to focus on the new bikes. I really like that, but I want to try to get more of the older motorcycles in, and try to find more of the unique ones. I've had very good luck with Baxter Cycle with that. They've got quite a selection that's always changing, and they've been very generous with letting me go in there and video those motorcycles. They won't let you ride the antique ones, but they will let me go in there and push them around and make videos and tell me all about it. And they're very, very good people there, as my experience with them. They also have a good collection of new Royal Enfields and old Royal Enfields, by the way, and also new Triumphs and old Triumphs, of course. I'd like to do some long ride. I've got this Lasombra, this motorcycle around 1100 Shadow. Works very comfortable, very good for long. I'd like to do some really long rides on this. But, well, hey, you know what? I'll tell you more about this later. I'm going to kind of enjoy the ride. As when I left town, it was about 43 degrees. The sun's kind of gone down, but I think it's supposed to come back out. We're enjoying some really beautiful Iowa countryside right here. Look at all that. And I shall catch up with you all later. We're just about to Nebraska. The Missouri River lays in front of us. We're in the floodplains, actually, on the east bank. Look at that hawk. Wow, is that two of them? That one's one. I don't know what the other one. Yeah, that one's a hawk too. Look at that. Gorgeous red-tailed hawks. I've seen a lot of those today. Anyway, the Missouri River is right ahead of us here. We're about a little over 80 miles, 85 miles into the ride. Just across that bridge is Decatur. They painted, I think they repainted this bridge a year ago. I've canoed under this bridge. I've canoed all the way from Sioux City all the way to Omaha, or just about to Omaha. That was a really fun time. I did it over, I think, 4 or 5 trips. If you look at the surface of this bridge, it's a metal grate. So if you look underneath it, you can see right down to the, you know, if you look down, you can see right down to the river. It feels like you're driving on marbles. Now, I think that's just the bike, you know, the grate being, the pattern of the grate squiggling the tires around. I don't think it's actually that loose. There's the river. Very little ice on it this time of year, or at least at this point. We had some below zero temperatures here a while back, and I'm sure that was solid at that point. There's a neat little park down there, but well, welcome to Nebraska. We're gonna have to find a juice box. I need some gas in this hot rod. There's the sign, Nebraska, the good life, and it's telling me to slow down because apparently 30 miles an hour is just too fast. Decatur, 618 people. All right, we're all juiced up. It says 9 Celsius over there, whatever that is. Took 3.17 gallons, $3.50 a gallon. We got about 46 miles a gallon on this stuff on the last tank. Green Lantern. I wondered where his place was. The Green Lantern, get it? River Rats Industries over yonder to the right. Travel information. We're going to be taking 51 south, 75 south, whichever takes us to Blair, Nebraska, and then at Blair we'll cross the river again and head back. We're about, I think I figured 100 miles from home. Hey, there's a Bigfoot. All right, y'all see that? They are everywhere. Ha ha! This is the town I gatewayed into when I crossed Nebraska. I used it as a crossover point. I crossed Nebraska, well, I've done it many times, but the one time I did it through the Sand Hills, I used this route, this town. And then down here I turned right instead of going forward. And that took me into the Sand Hills and Car Hinge and Chimney Rock and all that neat stuff. Look at that stone house. Wow. 1934 it said. Okay, we're going to stay in 75. Next stop, Blair, Nebraska. So behind me, if we'd have turned to the right, we would have gone into the Winnebago and the Omaha Indian Reservation. Speaking of that, the Omaha Indians, this is their natural, or their historic homeland. The Winnebagos were moved, or ended up here, I don't know how they ended up here, but they were originally Woodlands Indian from either Michigan or Wisconsin, and they ended up in northeast Iowa, and then finally over yonder, back here. Other Indians to talk about in this area were the Iowa Indians. Iowa Indians had a territory of about 9 states, they think, with Iowa being the center of that. And now they are located in Kansas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. You know, it's just been a great day for a ride. I feel it's a very comfortable ride today. It seems a lot warmer. Phone says 44 Celsius or 44 Fahrenheit. I wonder if it hasn't updated, because 9 Celsius back there at the other place, that would be 18 plus 32, 40, that'd be 50 degrees, over 50 degrees or around 50 degrees. I tell you, I fought myself to get out here, but I knew I would love it once I was out here. There's like very little snow over here. You know, being a motorcycle rider, it's tough in the winter living where I live. Especially from the end of December to the end of February. So I think this month I had, before today I had 685 miles. Wahoo! Okay, this little town is Tikama. Hey, I got it wrong, let me know. Tikama. On the east end of Nebraska, north of Omaha, north of Blair. Look at that, another motorcycle out. Crazy son of a gun. Hey, there's a clock. Let's see, maybe it'll tell us the temperature. 52. Yeah, my phone still says 44. I think it's stuck in whatever mode, wherever, my hometown mode. I've seen more motorcycles in Nebraska than I have in all of Iowa. The population density, as close as we are to Omaha, the population density is much higher here, so I suppose that's to be expected. So this is their main drag, or at least the old part of it. The new part of it is back there and to my right. Kind of a neat looking area. Look at that mural there, old and wore out, but still cool. Tap House, H&R Tap House, okay. Coffee shops, boutiques, Redneck Bar and Grill. Did I read that right? Maybe I didn't. Main Street Buffet, Chinese restaurant in the corner. Look at that building there, that's kind of cool. 1881, I wonder what that is. Gamut building? Gamut, look at that one on the right, that's kind of cool too. 1890. Karate shop. Another motorcycle. I'm telling you, they're all over. Nebraska's full of them. Guy with a kayak. The ever famous Runza. If you ever get a chance to have a Runza, well, try it once. I've had a couple. That's all it takes. 57 degrees. I love it. I love it. Here, hey, look, a helicopter. Wow, that's kind of cool. Is that a Robinson 44? I'm not sure. The railroad track to my right over there, that's one of the busiest railroad tracks. When I crossed Nebraska, I followed that track almost the whole way. And every 15 minutes there's a train on that track. I used to live in Boone, Iowa, which is a railroad town, and that track runs through it. And we had so many trains for that town, you had to be from out of town to hear the trains, because you know what, you live there, they just kind of vanish. You kind of block them out. So what did I say? We're about 120 miles from into the ride, 122 or 3 miles. And I think I've got about 70 miles to go, so we'll be pretty close to a 200-mile day. Missouri Valley, 13 miles. Missouri River, here we are. Da, 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 da. There it is. There's the river itself. Look at those sandbanks and jetties. Yahoo! Up on the right here a little ways, we'll see DeSoto Bend. DeSoto Bend is I think it's a federal park. A steamship, the Bertram, I think it was called, sank 100 years ago, 150 years ago, and somebody found it in the 60s and ended up building this park around it. Welcome to Iowa. And they have a climate controlled area where they keep all the artifacts from the day, you know, from the ship that they recovered, all kinds of amazing things. DeSoto National Wildlife Refuge. Waterfowl hunting prohibited from highway. I like that. I don't particularly want people shooting when I'm on the highway. And then just ahead of us are the Loess Hills, Iowa Loess Hills. So what would happen is the Missouri River would, in the glacier times, eons ago, millennia, many millennia, the glaciers the heads of the glaciers that reach down this way would melt in the summer, and they would flood the Missouri. Look at that train over there. They would flood the Missouri River 20 miles wide. They say 20-25 miles wide. Well, in the fall that would all freeze back up, the water supply would dwindle, and you'd have these big floodplains covered in silt from that glacier water. And over the course of God only knows how long, that silt would blow up onto the west bank there, and it made those hills, and I think those hills are 250 or 350 feet tall in places. Now I like to call the Loess Hills the Lost Hills of Iowa, because a lot of Iowans don't even know they exist. On the edge of another town. Look at that train to the right. One of the things I'd like to do this coming year, one of the things I had a lot of fun with last year, as far as motorcycles go, is I'd like to get a lot more private owned, custom built, or private owned restored. Those are actually really cool too. Motorcycles. Some of you guys do just absolutely amazing work, better than any paid shop could do, that's for sure. And I'd love to see a lot more of that kind of stuff. I've met some really interesting people. I've got some leads on some interesting two-strokes for this year. Met some guys, I think from Columbus, Nebraska, that had a bunch of two-stroke bikes. I would love to reach out, or have you all reach out to me. If you live within 250 miles, maybe 250 miles of where I live in west central Iowa. Or if you're willing to drive a little ways, maybe we could meet up. But I'd love to see some of those bikes, because that's really a lot of fun. I really enjoy that, and I think a lot of people out there would love to see your bike, your work. Custom built bikes, built by people that love them. Those are the best things. You know, bikes that are restored by people that love those bikes. That's the most beautiful motorcycles ever. All right, I'll catch up with y'all later. We are rolling into A-Town, hometown of mine. There's Albert the Bull over yonder. Landmark since the 60s. The Bluegrass Creek. What a ride, what a ride. Let's see. We started with 797, we're at 794 right now, or 994 right now. Almost 200 miles then. We still got a mile or so to get before home. This is our main drag right here, Highway 71. They've been knocking down buildings in our community for the last year or two. Everything that was over yonder is just gone. Wow, what a ride, what a ride. Hey, I appreciate everybody tagging along this last year. And if y'all's got some good ideas on what we should do for videos, please let me know. There's Casey's. I appreciate all the comments, I appreciate all the communication, I appreciate the pictures. I appreciate it all. It's just been a lot of fun for me. I'm just some guy that at about 4 or 5 years old got bit by the motorcycle bug and never outgrew it. Bought a camera and make YouTube videos, I guess. There's our famous Audubon clock. There's our new hole in the ground. There were 3 buildings there that got knocked down. 4 actually if you count that one. Temperature, I think we said 78 degrees. I'm sorry, 48 degrees. 78 would be nice. 48 degrees. Spider-Man the movie's at the theater. Not bad for a town of 1,800, huh? More or less. It's an average age well into the 60s. Wow, what a great ride. You know, when I left the house, I did not want to go. I was kind of leery of it, you know, the sand, the dirt. I haven't ridden in a while. You know, the motorcycle riding is a perishable skill. But it all worked out, of course. Within miles, it was came on, you know. Yeah, the Honda Shadow here is just ran like a champ. She always does. It's an 1100cc V-twin. Loves all kinds of weather. Does everything but go over 100. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Get out there and ride on the nice days. Enjoy life as much as you can, doing whatever it is that makes you happy. Life is good. And I will catch up with y'all later. Yahoo!